Now we discuss about the nutrient management for sustainable livestock production. Before I start, let me quote Anne Wigmore. The food you eat can be either the safest and the most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. In this context, I would like to underscore the objective of this module. They are role of nutrition in livestock management, nutritive requirement of different classes of livestock, understand the importance of agriculture industrial byproducts and non-conventional feed resources, and we will be able to know the various sources of non-conventional feed resources. The importance of nutritional management are factors that affect nutritional requirements. They are the breed, physiological status, production level and environment. As we know, 60 to 70% of cost of production in a farm is related to feeding alone. In India, animals are given dry fodder and they are given more liberally, and green fodders are given very sparingly. Knowledge on scientific feeding will improve the production and productivity of our livestock. Basic principles of feeding dairy animals. The animals require different kind of nutrient like human beings: proteins, carbohydrates, fats, minerals, vitamins and definitely water. The sources for livestock are pasture land, roughages, concentrates, supplements and additives. So, where do they get roughages? They get roughages from leguminous fodder like berseem, lucerne, cowpea. Similarly, non-leguminous crops like maize, sorghum, bajra, oat and other cereal crops. The perennial varieties like paragrass, guinea grass, napier grass, hybrid napier, road grass are very important for livestock management. Similarly, the concentrates like grain of maize, oat, jawar, barley are fed to the animals. Byproduct of cowpea, black gram, horse gram and Bengal gram are also given as a source of concentrate. And we all know animals are fed with oil cakes like groundnut oil cake, linseed oil cake, coconut oil cake and in certain cases cotton oil cake. The basic principles are we have to follow the locally available agriculture waste material which can be properly utilized for composition of a balanced ration. The importance of animal protein used in animal formulation are fish meal, meat meal and dried skin meal and others. The nutrient requirement of calves, as we all know, from the day of his birth till 4 days of age, immediately after 2 hours the calf has to be fed with colostrum, the first milk from mother, and that provides them, the calves, with most required antibodies. The high nutritive value, colostrum has high nutritive value. Further, it acts as a laxative to take out remove the first fecal material inside the calf intestine. In case of mother does not give colostrum, we can formulate a from locally available material like we can use 2 eggs, a little ounce of a castor oil and little bit of antibiotics to form a colostrum at our own farm. And we have to follow hygienic practices for maintenance of calves, which will provide them a basic requirement for not causing diarrhea and dysentery. Similarly, for the calves from 8 days to 14 days, whole milk have to fed at the rate of 1/10 of its body weight. It will continue till 35 days. Beyond 1 month, we can start feeding little quantity of calf starter at the rate of 100 grams per day, and it can continue till calf starter can be fed up to 3 months of age, up to 500 grams of body weight. The nutrient requirement of lactating cows, that would provide feed in form of succulent pasture especially during the summer days where we have more of heat stress. Similarly, for winter seasons or rabi seasons, we need to have silo pits for conservation of our green fodders. the thumb rule for maintenance of a cow is that they have to feed, for desi cattle we have to feed them at least 4 kg of feed, and for crossbred cows 4 to 6 kg of feed. Similarly, the concentrate has to have the digestible crude protein of 14 to 16% and TDN, total digestible nutrient, 68 to 72%, so that at the rate of a desi cow can be fed from 1 kg to 1.25 kg, and for a crossbred cow a 2 kg feed, concentrate feed can be given. Similarly, the thumb rule for maintenance required for pregnant animals during last trimester of the pregnancy, concentrate feed at the rate of 1.25 kg for desi and 1.75 kg for crossbred cattle is required. Similarly, the recommendation for milk production, we need to have extra ration for milk production. 1 kg of concentrate is required for every 2.5 kg of milk produced, and above the maintenance of required, this is over and above the maintenance ration, and 2 kg in case of buffaloes. The most important are the characteristics of a ration. The ration should have highly digestible feed ingredients. Evil smelling, musty and moldy feed should not be given to the animals. Improve the palatability by adding little salt and molasses. Inclusion of variety of feed in the ration makes it more palatable. Should contain enough of minerals. Should be laxative, include succulent pasture so that animals are tempted to eat. Ration should be bulky to satisfy the hunger. Avoid sudden change of diet. Maintain regularity in feeding. The time of feeding is very important. The periodicity of the feeding also important. Minimize the cost of feed to make it more profitable. Looking at the water requirement of livestock, we need to provide adequate quantity of water, free access to water throughout the day, so that especially in summer days, water consumption can be increased by as much as 40% when the temperature goes beyond 30 degrees Celsius, 35 degrees Celsius. A cow needs as much as 4 liters of water for every liter of milk produced. Similarly, the feed resources, we get feed resources from pasture land, crop residue, agro-industrial byproducts, non-conventional feed resources. So, we will discuss these 4 areas of feed resources for our livestock, especially the pasture land, which is the oldest form of availability of feed to the livestock. It includes edible grasses and other plants. In India, more than 80% of livestock population thrive on pasture, and pasture land are denuded day by day. Coming to the feed resources, the crop residues like high biomass and low crude protein, 3 to 4% of crude protein, whereas the crude fiber percentage is very high, ranges from 35 to 48%. The base of feeding system for ruminant is the crop residue. Cereal straw, sugarcane tubs, bagasse, cocoa pod husk, pineapple waste, coffee seed pods are some of the examples of crop residue. Similarly, the crop byproducts are more nutritious, improve the overall diet. Variety of oilseed cakes and meals can be fed to animals like coconut oil cake, palm kernel cake, cottonseed cake, similarly potato vine cake. So, these are some of the important crop byproducts which can be fed to animals. The agro-industrial byproducts are of very important nature, basically byproducts derived in the industry due to processing of the main product can be used as livestock products, livestock feed. In comparison to crop residue, less fibrous, more concentrated and have a higher nutrient content, and molasses, rice bran, pineapple waste, palm oil meal, these are some of the examples of the agriculture byproducts, industrial byproducts which can be used for livestock feed. Similarly, non-conventional feed resources refers to all those material feeds that have not been traditionally used in animal feeding and are not normally used in commercial produced rations for livestock. So, this can be harnessed. Our country is facing a deficit of 8.5 million ton of concentrate, which is 44% of the requirement. Similarly, 38.4 million ton of dry fodder, which is 11%, and nearly 130 million metric ton of green fodder is deficit, which is about 39%. The National Commission of Agriculture reported that we are able to only meet 70% of digestible protein requirement of dairy animals. Similarly, 50% requirement of dry animals, 40% requirement of adult animals, and 20% requirement of young cattle. The non-conventional feeds are sugar factory byproducts, starch industry waste, brewery waste, fruit and vegetable factory waste, high moisture agro-industrial byproducts which can be used. Similarly, marine and aquatic waste can be used for livestock. Even slaughterhouse waste also can be fed, of course after treatment, proper treatment. Poultry industry waste and animal waste are non-conventional feed resources for the animals. So, if you sum up, we discussed about major 4 components like nutritional need of animals, the feeding system, ration to be formulated based on thumb rule, and expanding the use of agro-industrial byproducts and non-conventional feed resources is an important requirement for our country, and we should know about this. Thank you.